In this video, we're going to see how we can set up the MXRoute in order to send and receive emails. Hi, my name is Stratos and I create video tutorials about WordPress. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you create websites for clients, then you may need a solution in order to host the emails of your clients. If you select a cloud server to host their websites, then in most cases you will not have the solution for the emails. And you have to search for another solution, another company in order to host those emails. One solution is the MXRoute. Before going deep, I'm going to compare the prices between other companies. I'm not going to say that this is better. I'm not going to touch any pros or cons. I'm just going to see the pricing. So, as you can see here, it says the small plan, which is the 10 GB storage, unlimited domains, unlimited email users, email accounts, and this is for $49 per year. And as you can see, all of those plans have unlimited domains, unlimited email accounts, and the only difference is the storage that they have and of course the pricing per year. Let's go to another solution and let's check out Zoho. And as you can see, this is the Mail Lite that will cost almost €1 per email, and this is per user per month. And think if you have 5 domains that can have probably 2 or 3 accounts each domain, so you will calculate how it's going to cost you per year. Now there's also a free plan in the Zoho, and if you check here the forever free plan, it says up to 5 users, 5 GB per user, 25 MB attachment limit, which is great, but as it says here, no IMAP or POP or ActiveSIV are included in the free plan. So this is only webmail access. If you don't have any problem to give your client webmail and say, go into your webmail and you will see your emails, you cannot use an app inside a computer or a mobile phone in order to see the emails. You have to go into the browser and use the web access, the webmail, in order to send and receive emails. And let's continue with the Microsoft 365. And as you can see, this is $6 per user per month. Of course, you get other things, but I'm just saying about the emails here. We're not going to compare other features and say which is better and which is not. We're just talking about the cost. If you want a simple email hosting provider for your client. Let's close that as well. Next is the Google, which is $6 again per user per month. This is for 1 year commitment. Let's close that again. And next one is the Rackspace, and this is $3 per user per month. Let's close that. And next we have A2 hosting, which is $1.59, and again this is per month per user. Let's close that and let's go back to the MXRoute. Once again, I'm not going to compare the other email companies with the MXRoute. If I was going to select something and my client could pay, I would probably go with the Microsoft or with Google because they may have better spam filters and of course they offer other solutions as well. But at this point, we're talking about pricing and we're just saying that this is cost effective for a simple hosting email service. Let's go to the top. Here you will see that they have documentation, blog, changelog, status, resell, and login. For the documentation, you can see that they have documentation, but I don't like that they don't have a simple guide that says, you bought a plan, here is the next step that you're going to follow. This is the 3 or 4 steps that you have to do in order to get your emails working. And I would like to have something like that here. The first time I used MXRoute, I think I was 3 or 4 years ago. I searched a lot and then find out how to create the DNS records and everything else, and I wanted to create a video. I created a video. I will put the link in the description below for the previous video, but I want to make an update because they have updated their servers a while ago, so I would like to make an update for that video. Let's go to the frequently asked questions, and as you will see here, the storage allocations that says here, if you go and buy the 10 GB package, you can say that each user will have 5 GB per storage and you have 100 email addresses. They don't care, but this space will always be 10 GB. So once all of those users will go up and reach into the 10 GB limit, then you will have to update. But you can give 5 GB per email address if you want. And if they select to use the POP3 and they clear the server after they download the messages, the email messages, then they will never have any problem. Another thing that you should know is that you cannot use the MXRoute for marketing emails. This is not the service about. This is only to host and send and receive emails through SMTP, not for marketing reasons. And they're not offering refunds. So if you buy it, there is no refund. So go ahead, watch the video, and if you are okay with this service, then you can go ahead and buy. Keep in mind that in 4 years, I never had any problem with my emails. I had once sent an email by them that they said that a password was compromised and the email was disabled, the email address, and once I changed the password and clear all the messages that were spam and anything else, then I send them an email and they reactivate that email address. And of course, this is something that I do like from a company. I do like that if they see a suspicious activity, then they will send an email and will say, hey, what's going on? Maybe you have a password compromised. Okay, and let's see the MX change log. And as you can see, they do updates to the packages, so you can buy something like that. I use it for 4 years with no problems. So let's go to the MXRoute and let's go into the login. Here is where you're going to log in. After that, you will have the dashboard, something like that. Let's close this. And here I can click as you can see, I have a lifetime 10 gigabyte product service here. And if I click here, the product service that you have, and of course, they offer frequently lifetime deals that you can go ahead and buy. Here you will have the service details, login details, reset password, and request cancellation. And if you go into the login details, you will have the URL, username, and here is the password. If you click the URL, then you will be redirected to another tab. And here you will have the username and the password filled out. If it's not, copy them from this tab and paste it inside here. Then go ahead and click the sign in. And this is the dashboard that you have, the direct admin, as you can see here. And this is where you set up the email. So this is the address you should have as a favorite. And this is where you need to go in order to create and add the email accounts. If you want just to access your services, probably create a ticket or something else, then you can go into the dashboard of the MXRoute. Let's go into the account manager, which is the first step. And here, as it says here, domain setup, you're going to click it here. And here are all the domains that you may have. We're going to click the add new in the top corner. And here, once we click that, it says domain here. And here we're going to put our domain. No HTTPs, no nothing. Just type the domain. pc.gr for me. And this is the domain. After that, you have the bandwidth, you have the disk space, and you have some options. Do not change anything. This is not the disk usage that you should change. This is not the quotas for the email accounts. This is nothing. Leave it as it is. As you can see, they are all same as the main account because they are grabbing automatically those settings, and we're going to set up the quotas for the email addresses later on once we create the email addresses. So just click create in order to create that domain. Once you create that domain, you should go in the top corner, click it, and then access it from here, onepc.gr. This is very crucial because if you not select it and you go into the email manager and then into the email accounts, then you will not be able to create the emails for that domain. Of course, if it's the first domain and you don't have any other domains, it will be automatically added. But if you have other domains and you don't select it, you can create the domain that you want, but go into another domain to create the email. Of course, you can see that domain here, but if you're not careful, then you may do a mistake. Okay, now that we are here, we have here the default, and this is something that you should not change. This is only for the domain to work. So you need to leave it as it is. It's not something that it will mess up the account. It will not take any space. As you can see, the usage, it's 0 bytes, but it needs an account in order for the domain to be active, and you cannot delete it. Even if you create other domains, do not change this one or delete it. Okay, let's go and select the create account. We're going to create the account, and here is the username, which is obviously, as it says here, the @onepc.gr. This is the email address that you want. So the first one would probably be the info@onepc.gr. So type info here. Next, we have the password, and you can use this icon in order to generate a random password. And if you do, then it will be automatically generated here. You cannot see it, but if you click here, the icon, you will see that. You don't have to copy that in here, but you can do that if you want. Into the next step, we'll have a table that will say all the information, and you can copy that from there. But of course, if you want, you can copy it right now. Then we have the email quota megabyte, and this is the quota per user. So this is the quota for the info email account. So this is 500 megabytes. If you want, you can do 1 gigabyte, so 1000 megabytes, or you can go up to 10 gigabytes, 10,000 megabytes. And it's easier to check here the max, and it will go into the top level of your quota that you have into your main account. The daily send limit is 7,200. As you can see here, do not change any of those. I don't think that you need to change the daily send limit for any reason. If you don't know how exactly the quota will be for your client, then start with the default one. 500 megabytes I think is enough to start an email, and then you can change it later on. Of course, it can be changed later on. So create the account, and here you will have the table that you can copy. Now it's the time to copy, so grab all the information, copy that to your clipboard, and paste it into a notepad. As you can see here, along with the username and the password, we have also the POP IMAP server and the SFTP server, which at this moment, for me, it's the echo.mxrouting.net. For you, maybe something different, but you will have your POP servers here and SFTP servers. When you buy a plan from MXRoute, they're going to send you an email with all the settings that you need. And I have stripped down the information into only the ones that I need. So they have already sent me the information about the echo.mxrouting.net that it says here, and this is the IMAP server and the SFTP server, as you can see. But they constantly remind me that these are the settings. So keep in mind that they have already sent you the information, but they keep repeating here. Let's close that, but you should have already copied that into your notepad, and we're going to hit close. Now, for any reason, if you want to change something, then you can go ahead and click that email. Let's click it here, and then you can go and suspend it, unsuspend it, delete it, or purge. And if you click here the plus icon, of course, for the plus icon, you don't have to click here into the box. You can change the password username, you can change the limits, and you can download the Apple iOS and iPad macOS Mac configuration. So this is a file that you can send to your client. He can just click it, and all the settings will be automatically imported into the device. So change the limits, and here we can change the limits. Let's close that. Let's click the account, and let's change the password. And here it says change the username if you want, and change the password if you want. Of course, the username is already selected and typed into here, because it's not common to change the username, because it's going to change, of course, the email address. And let's close that. And also you can suspend if you want, unsuspend, and delete and purge. Purge is actually delete everything from the email. Now, as you can see, I have 10 megabytes here, and this is not something that it's a mistake. It's because this email was working before. I just deleted it in order to create the video and to see how we're going to create that from the beginning. But this is something that was already working for me into the MXRoute. If you click this icon, then it will open up in a new tab, and this is the webmail that you're going to use in order to access your email from a browser. And of course, we're going to make it easier. You don't have to log in into here in order to access the webmail. You can also use a different feature. So we're going to close that, and all of those are, I think, promotions. Let's close that. So on top now, I have the two mail accounts. We have the 10 megabytes that are in total usage of this one, and these are 0 cents. Now, after we have created the email or the email addresses that we want, then we need to create the records in order for that email to work. So we need to go into the website that hosts our domain name and have the records. For me, it's Cloudflare, and this is the onepc.gr, as you can see. And inside the DNS records, I have cleared out everything, so I don't have anything. So we're going to add all the records in order for the emails to work. Let's go back into the notepad, and this is something that you should already have, and I would suggest to copy that also somewhere in order to use it frequently easier. And first thing, we need to set up the DNS MX record as it says here. We have the priority 10 and priority 20, and let's copy the first one, which is the same as the servers, the SMTP servers, if you remember. So I'm going to add the record, and I'm going to select here the MX record. MX record, this is the one. For the name, as you can see, it says to use the @ if you want the root. So I'm going to use the @ for the root. And then for the mail server, I'm going to paste it here. Maybe for your hosting company, for your DNS company, it's not an @ is something different, or it's blank, and you should use a blank. For Cloudflare, this is @ in order to use the root. Then you're going to paste here the server that we have copied. And then for the priority, I'm going to use here 10. For the TTL, I'm going to leave it as auto, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to add the next record, which is again another MX record. This is for fail-safe reasons. And let's go for the @ again. Let's go back to the notepad, and this is the next one, echo relay. And this is if the one fails, then it will work from the second one. And this will be 20. Save, and we're done with the MX records. Let's go to the next one, which will be the SPF record, and this is for your mail server to be identified as the one that can send email on your behalf. So we have here the @ or blank, as it says here, for the name. The type is TXT, and the record is this one. For the Cloudflare, you don't need to copy the quotas, so I'm going to copy just the text that is inside without the quotas. So copy that. Let's go back. Let's add a record. Here it is. The one that we're going to select is a TXT record. So let's go for the TXT. We're going to add the @ as the name, or blank, as it says here before. And for the content, this is the one that we're going to paste. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to click Save. Next, we're going to create something for the IMAP server and the SFTP server. Now, we have already here the echo.mxrouting.net, and this can work fine with your application to send and receive emails. You can send this to your client, he can put those records inside his application, and they will work fine. But I think these are not professional looking records. I would like something that has their own domain inside here, and it's more professional, it's more personal. So I'm going to copy that. Let's add a record, and I'm going to select here the CNAME. CNAME basically uses the target as a domain name. It's not using the IP as a target. For the name, I'm going to type here mail, and for the target will be this one, the echo.mxrouting.net. So basically, I'm forwarding the mail.1pc.gr to the echo.mxrouting.net. So I can give my client this one, the mail.1pc.gr, and say to him, you can use this one and add this as a record for your SMTP and IMAP or POP3 server. And this looks way more professional. As for the mail, do not use anything else. Just use the mail and then dot and then the domain. Do not use anything else here. In most cases, it will not work. And this is not because MXRoute has designed that way. It's just how emails work. So use only the mail here. After that, I have to disable the proxy status because I don't need proxy, and I shouldn't use proxy because it's not going to work. So disable the proxy status if you're using Cloudflare, and then click Save. It doesn't matter if you go and get here something like exclamation mark that it says that you're not using DNS. Do not use DNS, it's not going to work. After that, I'm going to add another record, and again, it will be the CNAME, and the target is the same. And this is for the webmail service. And in most cases, I use the webmail, and then I have a dot and then the domain for the client. This is the address that I can give to the client and say, hey, if you are not into your office and you don't want to use your mobile phone in order to get and see the emails that you want, go into your computer, type this into your browser, webmail.1pc.gr. It's easy to remember, just type webmail and then the domain, and you will go and access your emails. Of course, you have to sign in first, but you're going to access your emails. Now, for this one, you can use whatever you want. So if you don't want to use webmail and you want to use something like web mailing, I don't know, software for mail, software something, that the domain, then you can use that. Of course, you cannot use the mail because we have used it somewhere else already. Here again, I have to disable the proxy status, and then I can click the save. One last record that I have to create. It's not included into the notepad because it changes when you create a domain. So let's go back into the MXRoute, and here I'm going for the account manager, and I'm going for the DKIM keys only. That says here DKIM, and here if you scroll down you will see the x.domain key. This is the one that we want, so I'm going to copy that. And this is the DKIM keys. It's basically the authentication, so you will not land on spam when you send emails. So let's go back, and we're going to add the record, and this is again a TXT record. And if you don't remember it, if you see here it says TXT, so it's easy to remember. Okay, TXT, the name is the one that we copied, the x domain 1pc.gr, and let's go back and grab here again without the quotas all the text from here. Let's go back to the Cloudflare and let's paste the text. And here we're ready. We're going to click save, and we have finished with the records. You don't have to do the records again when you create another email account for the same domain, of course, because once they are created, we are done with the records. Now you can go into your account and create as many email accounts as you want. Next thing from the MXRoute, and the last step, is the SSL certificate. So click that, and you have to create two SSL certificates. One is for the mail that we used, and the other is for the webmail that we also used. If you haven't created the webmail and the mail records, there is no point on creating the SSL certificate. Let's click now the SSL certificates. Then we have to get automatical certificates from Acme provider. Let's click here. It says the common name will be the 1PC. We don't care for any other things inside here. This is the Let's Encrypt that is going to use. Then we have the 1PC that I can deselect because I don't want certificate for the domain. I have it from my domain here, from my Cloudflare. Next thing, let's scroll down, is the mail.1pc.gr, which I want, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Let's scroll down. Then I have the mail admin.1pc.gr. I haven't created that record, so I don't need that. And the one that will be also selected will be the webmail.1pc.gr. Those are automatically selected every time that I click the get automatically certificate here. So uncheck the first domain, the domain that you have, and then uncheck the, I think it was the admin webmail, admin mail. And then once you do that, you have only selected the webmail and the mail.domain.gr, of course, and then you can go into the bottom and click save. Keep in mind that you may get an error here because in some cases you may not have finished with the process of redirecting the records into your webmail. But if you wait a little bit longer, just about 5 or 10 minutes, and do the process again, you will get the certificates and keys saved success message here. So if you get an error here, then just close it. Let's go then again to the get automatically certificate, select the 1PC. If it's not selected from here, then select it from here first, refresh, and then again deselect the 1PC here, deselect again the mail admin, and press save again. So now that you have finished, I would recommend going to your webmail service and send an email message into a test account, a Gmail account or somewhere else, and then also reply to that email in order to send and receive one email in order to see that our records are working correctly. After that, let's see a little bit what we have also for the email manager. If I click it here, I will see that I have forwarders, and this means that you can set up forwarders, and once you get an email from here into your info for me at 1pc.gr, I can forward that to another email, and this may be my Gmail, my own Gmail. So in order to do that, I have to create the email forwarder. I have to click here the info, and then the at 1pc is already selected here, and then I'm going to type here my email, and click the create, and now this is created, so I can get all the emails that are coming here into my own Gmail account. Of course, I cannot use the Gmail account in order to send from the info email unless you go and add those settings into your Gmail account, if you know how it's done. And also, I would like to mention that if you use a forwarder here and give this solution to your client and say that you can use your email account, your Gmail account, in order to get those emails, he will not go and enter his webmail or access the emails from anywhere else, so the email account will keep adding up and maybe he will reach the limit, so be careful with that. After that, we have the autoresponder, which is basically once someone sends an email, he will get an autoresponder that we have already set. Vacation message, if you're going to create a message that you are away, and this will be from this date that it starts, and it will end into that date, and it will be created automatically. Then we have this pop filter configuration that you can go and set. As you can see, these are settings that you can change if you're going to get spams and you want to change the settings. We have email routing, email tracking, IMAP sync migration. And for the advanced features, we have the catch-all email, which is basically one email that can get all the emails that have the domain at the end. So even if someone misspells your email and types correctly the @1pc@gr, the domain for me, I will get that email no matter where he sent it. Two-step authentication that I can set up, and for the webmail I have all those services that you can use in order to use the webmail. That was all with the MXRoute. This is how easy it is to create the records that you need in order for that to work. I wish they had a simple guide inside the documentation to see and say that this is all the steps that you need to do. So follow along the steps and you will have no problem when creating emails for your clients. That was all with the video, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.